Hello everyone, and welcome to another Genshin lore video. Today, I'll be going over the Cataclysm and how it affected the nation of Natlan specifically. This lore is given to us through the scroll of the Hero of Cinder City artifact set, talking stick, and a few other sources. Also, this video does contain spoilers for the quests listed on screen now, so if you haven't done those, you have been warned. Anyways, let's move right on and get into the video. Before we get into the lore though, I want to apologize in advance for any pronunciation mistakes in this video. I did look up the names and tried the best I could, but some of them could still be off. Anyways, for this lore we have to go back around 2,000 years to the time of Ochka Natlan. Ochka Natlan was a city built by the followers of Xbalanque, the very first Pyro Archon of Natlan. It is located to the north of the Flower Feather Clan's village, and you can actually see it in the game. However, the city was abandoned at some point in the distant past, and all that remains today is ruins. In modern times, the city appears to be cursed, with Manku explaining that his tribe forbids him from going there. Many years ago, a group from the Saurian Relics Association was sent there as part of a commission. Mysteriously, the group vanished without a trace shortly after departing, which has led the association to steer clear of any matters relating to the ancient city. Despite these warnings, the Traveler does plan to go to the ancient city in the future. They want to remove the Flame Lord's blessing from their Saurian companion, and traveling to this ancient city seems like a necessary step. This will likely come in a future World Quest series, similar to how the Narzenkreis quests worked in Fontaine. Now then, with the ancient city explained, let's move ahead and focus on the Cataclysm. In the past, I've covered the lore of Talking Stick, which talks about the events that led to the formation of the Mare Javari. I previously thought that the events mentioned here took place over 1,000 years ago, but I was mistaken. Instead, they took place during the Cataclysm, which explains the Black Tide mentioned in the lore. Mavuika was shown to have known Teyvat, the main hero of the story, and she originally lived 500 years ago. With the release of Natlan, we also now have more information regarding this lore, so I want to briefly cover this story once more. After meeting with Mavuika, Teyvat witnessed a darkness growing on the horizon. Realizing that the tribes were too absorbed in their squabbles to recognize the incoming threat, he decided to take matters into his own hands. He went out to recruit a hero from each of Natlan's 6 tribes to do battle against the Abyss with him. First, Teyvat recruited Wainjiru from the Collective of Plenty and her raucous Tatankasaurus companion Kayeke. These two had actually traveled together in the past, with Wainjiru having scars from their previous adventures. Upon hearing that a battle was imminent, she became enthusiastic and got ready to fight. Second, Teyvat recruited Meneluk of the Flower Feather Clan and his faithful Kukasaurus companion, Nugobo. He welcomed Teyvat as a brother and was more than willing to join him in battle. Fun fact, Nugobo is the very same Kukasaurus that you can fight as a world boss in Natlan. Third, Teyvat recruited Sanhaj Kampore from the Masters of the Nightwind and his enigmatic Intomosaurus companion, Mahamba. Sanhaj's recruitment wasn't entirely voluntary, as the two had actually fought in the past. However, after seeing the future results of the upcoming battle, he agreed to join in hopes that he would be seen as a hero. Fourth, Teyvat recruited Burkina of the Scions of the Canopy and his reckless Yumkasaurus companion Kangamato. Burkina actually looked up to Teyvat and voluntarily joined him, despite having no battle experience of his own. Just like Nugobo, Kangamato is the very same Yumkasaurus that you can fight as a world boss. Fifth, Teyvat recruited Sanjata of the Children of Echoes and his steady Tepetlisaurus companion Mahuru. Sunjata had previously petitioned to expel Teyvat, wishing for stability and a cease to conflict in Natlan. He agreed to join the battle, believing that this would be the last great battle of their generation. Finally, Teyvat recruited Tupac of the People of the Springs, who was far too large to have a Kaholosaurus companion. These two were old rivals, and when Teyvat arrived, they remarked how they had left each other with many injuries. They then both laughed hysterically before joining forces. With these allies gathered, they all went to fight against the Abyss and save Natlan from the Cataclysm. As I said earlier, the tribes in Natlan were too absorbed in their squabbles to recognize the incoming threat, which is why Teyvat went to gather his many allies. Even so, the events of the Cataclysm still caught many by surprise and changed Natlan forever. Those who went to fight either came back different or didn't come back at all. According to this artifact set, the dark tide of abyssal energy that invaded Natlan seemed to originate from around the Cinder City, Natlan. Battles would be fought in this ancient city, and many heroes of legend would fall here. Many of the relics of this artifact set would also be left here by their now deceased owners. Additionally, the Cataclysm forced many people out to the battlefield, including those who weren't prepared. Young disciples from the Masters of the Nightwind were forced to take to the battlefield to guide fallen spirits home. One of these disciples was a young mystic named Luriru, who embarked to the ancient city with a team of adventurers. Knowing that the city was far too dangerous for her, the adventurers left her behind in a safe tower before quietly departing for the city. When Luriru finally made it to their encampment, all she discovered was their shattered corpses. These adventurers had been made into a meal by a dragon that lived in the city. This dragon may very well be the reason why the city is off limits in the present day. Even so, many were still drawn to the city due to tales of secrets and treasures hidden within its walls. After all, the machines of the secret source were excavated from ancient dragon ruins, so what other treasures could be hidden there? Legends of a skyfaring treasure ship and a secret prize that could drive the abyss beyond the bounds of the world brought many adventurers to the city, claiming each and every one of their lives. It is said that these treasures were made by the Python King of Natlan, but none would be able to survive their expeditions and successfully claim the treasures. Unfortunately, the events of the Cataclysm continue to affect Natlan all the way into the present day. As seen in the Archon quests in version 5.0, the warriors of Natlan have to travel into the Night Kingdom to fight back against invading abyssal forces. Additionally, in the trailer for version 5.1, it seems like the Abyss will actually be coming to invade Natlan itself. This video was made before 5.1 was released, so I don't know exactly what happens in these next acts of the Archon quest. Either way, the ancient Cinder City of Natlan remains off limits to the people of Natlan. After all, it is a very dangerous area that is home to a very powerful dragon. As for who this dragon is, I think it could be the reborn Pyro Sovereign. The previous Pyro Sovereign, Zhukotl, was killed by Xbalanque around 2,000 years ago. We know that the Sovereigns do get resurrected as time goes on, so it's definitely possible for this mysterious dragon to be the new Pyro Sovereign. Whatever the case ends up being, it will likely be a very important place to Natlan's story. Since we can see Natlan in the Out of Bounds area at the moment, we will likely explore it sometime soon. We could travel here during the final Natlan Archon quest in version 5.3, as well as during a World Quest series with our Saurian companion. This could even be where we fight one of Natlan's weekly bosses. The Pyro Sovereign was seen as an enemy in Natlan's history, so we may end up fighting the new Sovereign here. Alternatively, we could fight the Pyro Sovereign to save them from the Abyss, bringing the humans and dragons of Natlan to peace with each other. Either way, that should probably be saved for a theory video in the future. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the lore of Natlan during the Cataclysm. Natlan's lore has been absolutely incredible so far, and I can't wait to talk about Obsidian Codex and all the other bits of Natlan lore. If you want more Natlan lore in the meantime though, I recommend my videos on Natlan's Tyrannical King, the Mayor Javari, and Tales of Teyvat. With that said, I would love to hear what other bits of lore you'd like me to cover in the comments below as well. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Sources and further readings are also in the description if you want to check them out. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video.